how to implement Fortigate Firewall. So this is the topology that we're going to consider. This is our network diagram. We have our Fortigate Firewall, our DMZ router, our LAN switch, management PC, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and I have my outside router. It's a layer 3 switch actually, so I'm going to use it as a router. So I'm going to bring up my secure CRT. So this is my Fortinet. I have access to the console. So it's a fresh Fortigate firewall, virtual firewall. It has not been configured. I'm just powering it up for the first time. So and the default login is going to be admin and the password is going to be empty. There's no password. So that's it. And the first thing that I'm supposed to do is to configure interface, the interface IP address, configure system interface, and I can use the command show. So I'm going to see all the interfaces that are available. I have port 1 to 6. And from the diagram, port 1 is going to be the management interface. So I'm going to edit port 1. You can do show to see the default and to see the configuration that are on the ports. And you can also do show full configuration. I'm going to show the full config, the default configuration, the rest like that. But I don't need that now. So for the show, if you look here, we have set VDOM root. VDOM means virtual domain. It's just a virtual context, an instance, virtual context. For example, if you want to make your firewall, if you want to split into 2 virtual domains or whatever virtual domains, just like we have context in ASA firewall. So in Fortigate, we use domain. So in the firewall now, we only have the root domain, just one single domain. And the IP mode is set to DHCP and set allow access. That means these protocols are allowed on the interface. That means you can ping the interface. You can HTTPS request can be terminated on the interface. You can access it to the interface. HTTP likewise. FGFM, that means Fortigate to FortiManager. That's if you are managing your device using FortiManager. You need to have this access on your management interface also is very important. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the IP, but before I can set my IP, okay, let me be practical here. I'm going to do set IP 10.192.168.20.250, just like we have it here, 255.255.255.0. It's not going to take it because you can see can't change dynamic IP because I set my IP mode to DHCP, so I have to set it to static. I have to do set mode static. So now I'll recall my command again. Now I've configured my IP. So you can see, so I'm going to leave this as it is, but if you don't want everything, for example, I'm not using FortiManager, I can do this. So if we show, you can see it has removed the FortiManager. So that's all I need to do now. I don't need gateway because I'm going to be accessing it from the same subnet. My management PC is in the same subnet. But in case you want to configure gateway, you can just say config router static. I can't remember the command, the router. Oh, sorry. I need to do end. I need to get out of this mode because I'm under port 1. So by typing end, it saves the command automatically. So now I can do config router static. Router static. So that's it. So if you want to configure default gateway, you can always do that from here. But for now, I don't need to configure default gateway. But let me just show you edit one. Entry 1 has been added. So I can now say I can do set gateway. I think that should be it. Set device. Okay, fine. Set device port 1. Can do set device port 1. Can I do set gateway? And I'm just going to put my gateway. So that's how you're going to configure your gateway. So let me just run us through it again. Configure router static in case you need to do that. Edit 1, set device, and I'm setting device port 1, and I'm going to do set gateway. So that gateway is going to be for port 1. It's going to be for port 1, but in my case, I don't need gateway. I can just set something 192.168.20.250. Actually, I don't need that, but I'm just going to set it to 255.255. No, I don't need that for gateway, sorry. Hello viewers, welcome to another tutorial session from TechPitch. During this tutorial session, I'm going to be showing you how to implement Fortigate Firewall. This is the topology that I'm going to be considering. These are Fortigate Firewall, LAN switch, DMZ router, outside router, although I'm using a layer 3 switch, but it's going to be working as a router, and I have my management PC here, VLAN 10, VLAN 20. I'm going to explain more as we proceed into the implementation. Let me bring up my console. So this is my Fortigate firewall. I'm powering it up for the first time. So the default username is going to be admin and the password is empty. No password, just press enter. That's all. So the first thing I'm going to do is to configure the management interface. That's what I want to do now. I'm going to run show. You can see all the ports. I have port 1 to port 6 on my Fortigate firewall. So I'm going to do edit port 1 because we are using our port 1 is being used as management. Edit port 1. I can do show just to show the config I have on the port 1. Can do show full configuration in case you want to show the config, including the defaults and the rest like that. So let me just type in show. You can see set VDOM. The VDOM is set to root. VDOM means virtual domain, just like in the ASA firewall. We have context. You can have context 1, context 2, context wherever. So this presently we are only having one VDOM, which is the root domain, root virtual domain. The mode is set to DHCP. Set allow access. So these are the protocols that will be allowed to terminate on the management interface, on port 1 interface. This ping, HTTPS, SSH, HTTP, FGFM. FGFM means Fortigate to Forti manager. So that means if you want to manage your device using a Forti manager, so these have to be allowed on the management interface of your Fortigate so that a Forti manager can communicate with it in order to manage it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set IP. It's not going to work now, but let me show something. Let me be practical. No, 192.168.20.250/24, just like we have it here. So enter. You can see this error can't change dynamic IP because the IP mode is set to DHCP. So I have to change it back to static. You can see. Now I'm going to recall my IP command. I've done that. I can do show. And for example, if you want to remove some of the access, you just need to reconfigure this command. Like, for example, I want to remove FGFM because I'm not using it. So FGFM has been excluded. So I'm going to type in end. So by typing in end, the command has been saved. So let me try and ping from my management PC 68.20.250. That's good. So I can ping. That means I should be able to reach it via GUI. So I'll bring up my GUI 68.20.250. It's just admin because no password. I'm still having the default credential. I'm going to click on login. So it's going to prompt me to change my password and I can leave it for later. But I won't do that. I'll change my password at once. Okay. Oh, password do not match. Okay. Oh my. Okay. Okay, fine. So this is my dashboard main page. This is the host name, serial number. I'm running version 6.0.3. The mode is NAT. Just as we have in our ASA. In ASA, the firewall mode, it can be routed or transparent. But in Fortigate, we use NAT or transparent. So NAT means routed, like we have in ASA firewall. So it means layer 3 mode. So if we see a Fortigate mode on NAT, it means it's running on layer 3 mode. That's just the meaning. So without taking much of our time, I'll go to network interfaces and to configure my interface just like we have it here. Can see my management interface which I configure through the CLI. All this, the rest of the interface can also be configured via the CLI, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use the GUI. So now I'm going to configure, this is going to be my inside and it's going to be in form of port channel. So port 2 and port 3 will be bundled together. So let me create the bundle, the aggregate first of all. And I'm going to say inside. Alias is going to be inside. Is going to be 802.3 the aggregate, and the interfaces are going to be port 2 and port 3. I'm going to leave the role as LAN, no IP. I'm going to leave the rest at default. I'm going to click OK. Having done that, I need to add sub interfaces inside one. So in that bundle, I want to create two sub interfaces. So that's going to be for VLAN 10 and VLAN 30. VLAN 10 will be inside one. VLAN 30 is going to be inside two. Or maybe I should, okay, inside two, fine. I'll leave it that way. So this is going to be port channel 10 for inside one. And the IP address is 10.10.10.1 slash, okay, I have that here, slash 24. I'm going to allow ping on the interface. DHCP, that's if you want to enable DHCP on the interface. You want your firewall to function as a DHCP server, so hosts that are plugged to that interface can get IP address from the firewall, but I'm not going to do that. I think that will be all. I'm going to click on OK. So you can see I have my first sub interface. I'm going to create the second sub interface, and that is going to be inside 2. And that's going to is still going to be on under the interface inside under the channel group. That's going to be VLAN 30, just like we have here, VLAN 30. And the IP address will be 10.10.30.1 552.55.55.0. So that's it. I'm going to enable ping on the interface. I'll leave the rest as is. So that's it. I'm done with that. You can see it's still showing red. It's still not yet up because we've not configured the port channel from on the switch side. So I'm going to go to my switch. my LAN switch. Interface range, it's 01 to 2. Yeah, 0102. Short channel group 1 mode active. Interface port channel 1. Switch port trunk encapsulation.1q. Switch port mode trunk. Switch port allow switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10 and 30. No shot. To show IP interface brief. Okay. That's good. Do show inter channel summary. Okay, my port channel is up, the interfaces are up. So I'll go back to my Fortigate. This should change. So let me just refresh my browser. It should now be green. It's green now because my port channel is up, so that's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do, let me configure the rest of the interfaces. For the DMZ, that's port 4. I will edit that directly because I'm not adding to any bundle or whatever. So I'll label it DMZ. I'm going to label it DMZ, and that'll be 10.10.40. I'm going to enable ping on that interface, and that should be all. Channel 4, that's fine. So from my firewall, okay, now I mean my DMZ router, host name DMZ, interface F00, IP address 10.10.40.2, 55.2, 55.2, 55. Okay, let me change it to 252. I think that makes sense. No shots. And so this also I'll change it to 252. 252. So that'll be it. So I should be able to ping 10.10.41 from this guy. 10.10.41. So my DMZ is fine. I can ping. That's fine. So now the next thing, let's do port channel 5 and 6. I have to bundle it also, but I'm not going to create sub interface. I'm going to use the interface as a whole. So port channel 5 and 6. So I'll just outside. This is going to be aggregate also. Aggregate interface. I'm going to use 5, 6. That's fine. Okay, okay, let me just use one. That will be 10.10.50.1. Let me make it 252 also. And this, don't let me enable ping on it. But for test, I can enable ping. So I can test my connectivity to the interface. So that's fine. So my outside interface, it's green, that's fine. It turns green straight, I don't have any sub interface on it, so that's fine. But I still have to configure the outside firewall. I'm going to say host name outside, and that's going to be, I have interface range While I'm doing this, you can see I'm using different flavors of interfaces that are available because I want us to know how to configure various type of interfaces on Fortigate. So that's why I'm doing all this. 0021 short channel group 1 mode active. Okay, interface for channel 1. That's going to be layer 3 short IP address 10.10.50.2.255.0. So I should be able to ping 10.10.50.1. I can't. Show IP interface brief. Show on interface for channel 1. And first of all, interface for channel 1. IP address should be 252. So my port channel 1 is down because Ethernet 0 and Ethernet 1 because they are both down. Interface range 0021 no shots. Show IP interface brief. Okay, now they are up. Okay, range 800021. There will be no switch ports. Channel group 1 mode active. Fine. So now I should be able to ping 10.10.50.1. Okay, fine. So my DMC is confirmed, my outside is confirmed. I've configured inside, but I've not confirmed it. Now for my inside, I want us to understand something here. Now for the sub interface carrying VLAN 10, I'm not going to have any layer 3 for it on the switch. So this host that is in VLAN 10 is going to have its gateway on the firewall, which is going to be 10.10.10.1. But for VLAN 30, I'm going to terminate it on the switch. I'm going to have a layer 3. It's going to have an SVI on this switch. So for this host is going to be in VLAN 20. And this port, Ethernet 1.1, is going to be a layer 3 port. So this IP address is going to serve as a gateway for this PC. So there will be routing on this switch with this firewall. I'm going to still establish routing between this switch and this firewall. We are going to get there. First of all, interface Ethernet 1.0 switch port mode access switch port access VLAN 10 no short. Oh, okay, VLAN 10 has been created. Fine. So for Ethernet 1.1, there will be no switch. You can have to make a layer 3 IP address. Then there's no switch ports. .10.20.3 5.2 5.2 This is going to be /24. I'll leave it that way. So I've done that. So I'll go to VLAN 20 host IP 10.10.20.2/24 gateway 10.10.20.3, and I'm going to save. And I should be able to ping my gateway 10.10.20.3. Okay, that's done. I'll go to VLAN 10. IP is going to be 10.10.10.2/24. Gateway 10.10.10.1. which is the firewall Fortigate inside one interface IP address. Let's see, I should be able to ping my gateway. Okay, that's done. So that's it. Like I said earlier on, let me do this. So this guy goes straight from here to here. But for this guy, it goes from here to here. This is where his gateway lies. This is where his own gateway lies. And okay, from here to here. But for this firewall interface has an SVI here. So it's going to terminate here. So that means there's going to be routing between this interface and this SVI. I mean, between this. Okay, let me put it. Actually, not really. I will establish the routing between the firewall and this SVI. That's what I'm going to do between firewall and this SVI, and this interface also, But this interface will be running as passive because there's no other network behind it for it to, to share with the routing process. Just is on subnet alone, so it's going to be passive. So there's going to be there's going to be routing instance running on this switch, so that appropriate routes can be shared. But when we get to that, you are going to see how it's going to work. So, but for now, for the sake of this video, I've been able to show you how to configure various type of interfaces on a firewall using channel group with sub interfaces, just like we have here, using channel group without sub interfaces, like we have here, and using individual interface, just like we have it here. So this is I'm going to stop this video here. Part two watch out for the part two of this video. So the part two will take us through the routing process. Just make sure you look for the part two of this video and make sure you watch it. Thank you very much.